Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of podcast world. This is Fully Dressed.
Where's the music?
Oh, well, I turned it off. I didn't. There you go. This is Fully Dressed podcast. I am the co-host with my partner, Bruce or Duck, and we're here to talk about current events, things going on in the news, sports, politics, religion, tech, anything that tickles our fancy. We're going to talk about it. So,
Quack, quack.
Yeah. So if it's controversial, we're definitely talking about it. If it gets our interest in any way, we'll talk about it. And if it's weird, we're definitely going all in. So
there's a lot of weird.
Oh my God, there's so much weird, and
there's so much weird.
And it's Halloween, so happy Halloween!
Woo! My orange.
Kiddies should not come to my house because there will not be candy.
I turned all the lights out.
Because I work. This is my first. No, it's my second year here. I worked last year as well, but I don't know how many kids come to this neighborhood, but I was wondering, like, what if I put out like a pillowcase or something on my porch? You think the kids will drop candy off in there for me so I can get some candy?
There is something that I didn't look into, but something out there going on about Halloween this year and kids taking all the candy out of the bowl.
Because there's people won't be there, so they leave bowls on the porch or whatever, so they can at least participate somehow. And kids are taking like all of it instead of grabbing a piece or two and leaving.
I think there's something different going on this year that's going viral.
Did you see in Michigan where they busted somebody for something, and he was preparing for Halloween, and he was going to pass out marijuana candy?
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah, and I don't know how they got him or whatever, but they had a picture of a bunch of candy bags, like Nerds and Twix candy bars and stuff, and they said it was marijuana laced and mushroom based. Those kids would be triple balls, man.
Dude, that ain't right.
I know, so stupid.
That ain't right.
So
that ain't right. No. We used to. It's like nobody give out apples, but if they did, you chopped it up to make sure there wasn't a razor blade in it. That was what the freaks did back in our day.
We had a house. They were the fatties, and the kids were 6 or 8 years older than me, so my brothers were aware and knew them or whatever. But you always made a beeline for that house because they did candy apples, and they did caramel candy apples and the cinnamon ones.
Yeah,
and they would give you two, one of each. And man, like we would paw tail over to their house first to make sure. And then there's another lady named Ruby. She passed out full-size candy bars. Those are the places like you made a beeline for. Which, talking about trick-or-treating, kids are so soft now. Like, they're such wimps. We used to wear those plastic masks.
You couldn't breathe.
You couldn't breathe.
Little hole to breathe out of.
You couldn't stick your tongue out, cut your tongue. Your eye hole was like a slit. You couldn't see anything. It was hot as the devil's den, and you wore that thing. Oh my God. It was a rubber band around the back. It was so stupid. And we wore those things. And that's like, I don't even know if they make those kind of things anymore, but those were, it's almost like child abuse.
It's pretty brutal, yeah.
Yeah, but kids nowadays with the internet and all their ideas and stuff. So that's all an old man. He was in some TikTok video, and he had a walker and he put a J on it, and they're like, "What are you supposed to be?" He's like, "I'm a jaywalker."
Hey, I went to work in my as bedtime Brett waiting tables. Went in my PJs.
I don't know if you remember whenever I dressed up as a gnome.
No.
Dyed my beard all white. I grew it to like a big point. I can't remember where I was at. I can't remember where we were at for that one. May have been in Ashland, so you may have been gone, but I got a pair of like bibbed overalls, cut the legs off. They were blue, and then I put a sign on that said "Know me, don't play." Made like a little pointy hat. That was one of my better ones. So, all right, we got to get this thing rolling. We're just chit chatting about nothing, which is also good. I did this TikTok the other day about when I was a kid and cut my hand, and when my dad, how he reacted, and just how
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, he said, "Well, hope you don't die before your mama gets home." Like I'm 5 years old, and I'm like, "You hope I don't die? Like I'm gonna die?" I got all those. I got like 50 stitches. He wrapped me up in a dish towel with duct tape because, I remember him pulling the pieces of the glass out of my arm with needle nose pliers. I'm like, I guess that's my dad's version of tweezers. But that's whenever like, "Oh, you Gen Xers, you okay?" Yeah, we're okay.
We're good.
You can knock me down the stairs, and we're gonna live. But you say a harsh word to somebody, and you might get your feelings hurt. So, but anyway, it made me think about. I'm going to force you to tell this story.
Oh, are you?
Of when you went out as a teenager, had an experience, and thought you got away clean until the next day. So, if you could enlighten us before we get started.
What are you talking about?
You went to a party, got hammered.
Okay. First time I ever got drunk. Russell High School. We had I can't believe this is the second time I've told this in the last month, and the only 2 times I've ever told this story.
No, you told me years ago.
Oh, well, okay. All right.
Mall was the one telling it, and you kind of
interjected. I was in high school chorus, and we did Little Abner. And after the last show, we did 2 shows. After the last show, there was a party out at, I believe it was our quarterback's house. They were well-to-do out in a nice area of the region I live in. And I wasn't a popular kid. I wasn't an unpopular kid. I was just there. We had 140 people in our class. And so I was a sophomore, I think, and I'd never drank. And my mom had come up to visit. I lived raised by my grandparents. My mom had come up to visit to see the show. So we went to this party, and apparently I decided that was the night I was going to learn how to drink. Well, I didn't learn a whole lot. So I drank, and I remember somebody handing me this bottle and saying, "Turn it up." So I took this bottle of Jack and turned it up. Like, I got really, really tore up. And the next thing I remember, I'm sitting in the back of my grandmother's car in front of the house that the party was at. So somebody somehow got the number to my grandmother from me. I don't know how I did that. 836-5145. And I remember being in the back seat, and my grandmother and my mother in the front, and I don't remember necessarily getting home or getting to bed. But the next morning, I wake up, and I'm thirsty as shit. So I go in, I pee in the bathroom, and I'm getting a glass of water, and the door's open to the bathroom, and there's a hallway. And as I raise up my glass to drink my water, my mother and my grandmother are walking down the hallway. And my grandmother looks in at me and looks to my mother and goes, "Look, Pat, he's thirsty.
He's still thirsty.
He's still thirsty." Like, oh my God. I was so hungover, Bruce.
Did you fall on a table or something?
I fell and broke their table, crushed it. I don't know if it was a nice table or a whatever table, but yeah. I hope I don't have any fellow high school people here that say, "No, you did this. You
owe
jumped
me
pants.
a table."
Oh my God. Yes. Mr. and
No.
Mrs. Couchot, I believe is, yeah. Yeah. Ah,
Oh, that's hilarious.
that was the last high school party I got invited to. There wasn't any more after that. There was, we
Yeah.
don't want to invite that kid.
Yep. Yep. Oh, that was good times. Good times. I appreciate
Oh
that.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
That was about 8 years before I met you.
Oh, thanks for getting all that wild stuff out of the way so you didn't corrupt me.
Oh yeah. I got my ass straightened out after that and then got re-corrupted by you.
Just did it the right way.
Let's
That's
go to Lexington.
And then let's go to Cincinnati. And then to Cleveland.
Cleveland. One
Let's
trip,
almost,
ladies and gentlemen. One trip.
let's almost get arrested for trying to climb over the fence at the stadium.
Thought it was being nice. That's a story for another day. Okay, you got something.
Okay.
You got something to say.
Yeah, I got something to talk about. So anyway, we discussed everything. So I'm like I won't say I'm a news junkie. He is more of that. He's like, I read a lot of the news. He watches a lot of the news, but quite honestly, I don't know how to work my TV that well to turn the damn thing on. So I basically just go and go on the internet, read, and find out all the stuff that's going on. And so some of the things that catch my attention is what I want to talk about. So this is one of the things that caught my attention today is this right here. Records expose Eric Swalwell's campaign's bizarre inconsistency in payments to a California man. So I'm not going to read all this, but he is one of Trump's biggest enemies, nemesis, or whatever. He hates Trump. He's always like doing anything he can to stop Trump. But it comes out that he has a staffer that he has paid over $360,000 to, and it's for just random things. Like one of the payments was for $53, one of them was for $12,000. This is over the course of like 3 or 4 years. So last year, his payments to this guy came up to $120,000. He's on track to make that much again in 2025. And when they asked Swalwell about it, he was like, "This guy protects my family. This guy is on my staff or whatever." When it comes out, the guy didn't have a security license, so he's paying him for security when it doesn't have. He owns his own limousine service, and it shows all kinds of crazy payments for using his car service. And then it came out at the end of last year, well, in like the last 3 months of the year, Swalwell was spending like like $60,000 on travel. He took 4 or 5 of his staffers to Paris, to Dubai, staying in these expensive hotels in San Francisco, and it's basically using his campaign finance funds. And he said it was for the campaign, which makes no sense. But now they're trying to get, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's works for the Heritage Foundation, and he's trying to encourage the FEC to do an investigation into his payments. So what did they say? Do good for thee, but not for me. So I'm above the law. I can do whatever I want. This might be a rule, but it's not for me. So Eric Swalwell is a dirtbag. And
well, why don't you bring up that little there you go. Let's
who were on the phone listening
Can you hear it?
to talk about
Yep.
this swap of dirt for U.S. military aid.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard.
Did you hear that?
I thought that was you.
Listen.
And the complaint that I've heard from Republicans all last week was that you don't have anyone who heard the call. The
Wait.
complaint that I've heard from Republicans cheat an election, help them cheat, and 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 help them cheat an election. The complaint that I've heard from Republicans.
That is so stupid. Not him.
Yeah, that was him. That was him. He rolled him right on. That was a big thing in the news a bunch of years ago. Swalwell farts on camera. How do you let something like that out, thinking it's not going to be picked up by the mic? Oh, this should be a silent one. Yeah.
Just pooping his pants.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was hilarious. He's such a jerk and such a dork.
He's,
You've seen his videos where he's like working out and stuff, trying to.
yeah, he's dude. He's the one that was dating the Chinese spy. Remember?
Yeah.
He's so freaking outwardly critical, and he can't get his own house in order. I didn't see that story you're talking about misuse of campaign funds, but I'll look into it a little bit too, because I don't care. He's elected by his group in his region, and that's what democracy is all about. If that's who represents you, just know we're judging you.
Yeah, 100%. But I think they need to be held accountable only because they would hold Jim Jordan if that were him, and they would be crucifying him right now.
Yep.
They made up 30 or some fake charges against Trump. But then if you say anything, oh, it's political retribution.
Oh, they were real charges, but they were misdemeanors that they all wrapped together and made into a felony. They were real charges. You can't underestimate or overestimate the value of the property in order to get a loan. But he got the loan, he paid it off, and then years later they went back and took. So were they legitimate charges? Yeah, sure, they were legitimate misdemeanor charges that nobody goes to jail for. But the way that they did it and attacked the president, and then now saying that the president's attacking them, it's just absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
And it's I don't know if
I mean, he's brought up charges on James Comey now. On who was that DA? The woman,
Letitia James,
James Comey, and just brought out charges against that other dude. It's not political retribution. It's not an eye for an eye. It's we think you did criminal activity and we're going after you for it.
pay for it. You should absolutely pay for it. I don't think it's eye for an eye. It's fair. It's fair. And don't just be like overstating the value of something. If I go to trade my car in, I'm going to say it's worth X because to me it is. If you say based off of our calculations it's worth this, well, that's just a difference of opinion. So I don't think it's overstating. I think that's just how I feel about it. So I don't know if that's a crime.
I think he overestimated the values in order to get a bigger loan. And if he would have would have gone defunct on that loan, that's different. But he paid it all back, and then years later they want to bring the charges. That's just political bias.
And it should be criminal to under.
Just political bias.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's just one of the things I want to talk about because Swalwell's such a dork.
Okay.
I saw something that I can't decide if it's amusing or scary or both. Amusingly scary. Is that a thing? Anyway, the senator was talking about Trump and the use of force against the drug boats that they're blown out of the water. And this guy was saying, well, I think that they need to be concerned because there was going to be another Democratic president at some point. like AOC. And when she's president, what if she decides random people are terrorists or killing American citizens and she just starts killing people? And I was like, this dude, does he really believe that she's got a chance to be president? Because the way he was saying it was like, when AOC's president, I'm like, you better shut your mouth, boy. 'Cause I don't know. That's so scary to think that someone believes that she could be the president. Oh, she's running as well. She's got to run.
Well,
So,
okay, then let me go into what could have been a really great monologue, but I didn't prepare properly, so I'm just going to wing it. But I was watching. You're talking about running. At the end of this, I'm going to go ahead and say who I think is going to be running for president for the Democrats and the Republicans, and who their running mates are going to be 3 years from now. So I'm going to put it out there. Let's look back in 3 years from now and see. Well, damn that rookie. So actually 2.5 years from now, because in 3 years will be the election. All right. So we've talked about there's a Super Bowl halftime show coming up, and I think I should do a separate monologue on just that, because Turning Point is going to do this halftime show, and it's going to compete with the regular Super Bowl show. Who's the name of the guy on the real Super Bowl? The Super Bowl halftime show?
Bunny.
Never heard of him. Don't know who he is. Don't care. And I just know that the last 10, 15 years, they've had halftime shows that I don't really care about. Way back in the day, you had Janet Jackson, you had big names doing halftime shows. Now you've got these fly-by-nighters, and it can be all political. So Turning Point is going to do their own halftime show, and they've got some big names that are going to do it. And they're wanting people to not watch the Super Bowl halftime show, but at halftime, watch Turning Point's presentation of their halftime show. My point to all that is, make sure you turn off your television, disconnect from watching the Super Bowl if you're going to do that, because they're going to score it. And if you watch both, maybe they're going to score you watching both of them. You don't want the credit to go to the Super. I'm not telling you what to watch, but you're going to. So anyway, Turning Point. Did you happen to see their thing at Ole Miss the other night?
Briefly.
Absolutely incredible. These kids, there were 50,000 people in the stadium. J.D. Vance was the main speaker. Erica Kirk introduced him. It was a wonderful introduction. She gave some really heartfelt comments talking about the youth of this country. And this is my point of this monologue. I think the youth of this country is saved. I think, what are they? Are they Gen X? Gen Z?
We're Gen X.
Are we Gen X? Okay.
I think they're Gen Z, maybe. I don't even know.
Something that's after that. When you talk to these kids, and there are a lot of news organizations did interviews with them outside, I think there has been an awakening in this country by the youth politically that we've never seen before. The hardcore liberal youth, they're not going to get out and vote. They're not going to take the time to do it. These hardcore conservative youth, they're going to vote. You better bet your ass. They're going to be the first one in line. I don't like the mail-in voting. I don't like the early voting, but let them do it. That's all fine and good. The youth are the ones that are going to control the elections going forward. Now, I don't think the best thing in the world for a candidate and his running mate is to be a white male. I think that's going to be controversial from the beginning. But here is my prognostication as to who's going to run against who in 2028.
So wait.
Go ahead.
Said it's the white male is going to what?
Based on my predictions, I think the political climate almost requires to have candidates that aren't Caucasian males, because then they're going to throw the racial shit at you.
Okay.
That's why I was proud to vote for President Obama the first time that I did 12 years ago. I'm like, we're going to show that this country isn't racist like you think. We're going to elect a black president. And we did. And I voted for him 4 years later because I didn't like who he was running against. I believe it was Romney. So I couldn't vote for Romney, so I voted for Obama again, although I didn't really like what he was doing. He was the one that should have decriminalized marijuana. That should have been done that many years ago. We're still freaking talking about it because it's a political turning point issue. It's one of those things that we can get these people on our side for this vote, but then we don't really have to do anything about it. So here's my projection. I think turning point 3 years from now is going to be an extremely huge voting block. You've always had the unions. You've always had the people of color. You've had all these different groups and organizations that we're going to back this candidate. We're going to back that candidate. Well, I think turning point. I know they're conservative and they're more than likely going to go after support the Republican nominees. That voting block is going to be absolutely massive. Now, I think in the presidential election, 2.5 years from now, we're going to have Gavin Newsom. I think he runs in the primary against Kamala Harris, and there'll be some others in there. And I think AOC is going to be in there. AOC is going to drop out. Kamala and Newsom are going to be the big ones fighting each other. Look at me acting like Governor Newsom, fighting each other. And then they're going to be the Democrat ticket. Okay, that's Newsom and AOC. Okay,
We'll have to pause for 1 second for
Go ahead.
commercial break or dog
Commercial
break.
break.
1 minute.
Okay, so we've got Newsom and AOC. I'm predicting as the Democrat ticket. After watching this turning point event in Mississippi at Ole Miss, there's no question in my mind that JD Vance is going to be the nominee. I think he's. You didn't see it, did you?
No.
JD Vance did what Charlie Kirk did. This is the standing vice president of the United States, current vice president of the United States. And he even said it. He said, I'm going to say it just like Charlie did. If you disagree with things, come to the front of the line and ask questions. The vice president took questions from the audience, from students, some of them confrontational, for about 45 minutes to an hour. It was unprecedented, and it was very impressive. And he challenged back where he needed to challenge back, and I was impressed with how he handled himself. I think he is going to be on the top of the ticket, and I think Marco Rubio is going to be the vice presidential candidate. And I think the two of them are going to wipe the slate with the Democrats. Democrats have jumped all in on issues that they don't need to be jumping in on. They don't need to be so hardcore on, and so that's my guess. Is it's going to be Governor Newsom versus Vice President Vance? Those are their running mates. AOC, Marco Rubio, and I think we're going to have another 8 years with JD Vance following Trump.
So you think that Newsom's going to pick AOC to be his running mate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm not.
I don't know.
You.
I don't know who else falls in. You can get another white male and go with what's his name? Department Buttigieg. He might have a shot. I think he's going to run for president.
Okay.
But I don't. Good.
Some recent polling that I've read about has Buttigieg is polling higher right now than Newsom.
Okay.
And which is so weird because he was not a good mayor and he was a horrible transportation secretary.
Yep.
Then he moves to Michigan, grows a beard, stops talking about all the gay things, and now he thinks he's prepared to be the president. Because here's what I
Let's not forget JD Vance grew a beard too. I don't like his beard.
For a while.
He went when he started running for president.
But I think Newsom is running. I think AOC is running. I think Rahm Emanuel is running.
Okay.
I think Pete Buttigieg is running.
Josh Shapiro?
I don't think he's going to. And because he's Jewish. He might run, but they don't want him on a ticket. And then I think Jasmine Crockett is going to run.
Ooh.
I really believe it.
Ooh.
I'm enough to believe that all of her hate and yelling, and suddenly she has a ghetto like accent or whatever. I think she thinks that is working for her, and I think she's going to run. So those are my thoughts on that. I do think Rubio and Vance are going to run, but I also think DeSantis is going to run. And I would prefer, I don't know, I think I would like to have DeSantis and Vance, because DeSantis has done a smashing job here in Florida.
He has.
An awesome governor, and there is very little, if anything, that I would say I disagree with. I really,
and you have term limits in Florida, right?
Yep. And his
okay.
Is up. And I think Byron Donaldson is going to be the next governor. That's who I think. He's great. I think he's going to be our next governor. So, but I do agree with you that those are the people running, which is hilarious that like Newsom, who has the worst state in the country, $80 billion in the hole, everything is out of control. And he wants to take over the country so he can turn the rest of the country into California, which is crap.
I'm looking forward. I don't want to expedite things because I want Trump to be president as long as he can, because he is doing wonderful things. His trip to China was absolutely glorious. Did you see his trip to Japan?
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't understand how all these world leaders, even the ones who aren't close friends or allies or whatever, they're all like praising him. Like he's doing great stuff. He's amazing. He's killing it. Supporting him. But then the citizens of this own country that he's doing this for cannot say a good thing about it. They cannot just come out and go, you know what, he actually is doing a great job. They won't, they cannot accept the wins because of it's Trump. And I'm like, wow, that Trump derangement syndrome is real. Like they cannot get past that fact. So it's crazy. And like I always look at like AOC. She's an easy target, and I know it. I don't know if that's making me into a bully or not, because she may have a college degree and whatever, but she's an idiot. And it's like an easy target to attack, but her district is like a third world country. What makes her think she's a good leader? She can't even control that little district in her hood. So suddenly she thinks she can run the country. Like it's so baffling. So then it leads me to Mamdani and his election, which he's probably going to win. And I don't understand what is broken in people that are like, yeah, that's going to work. We'll do it. Because you're going to tear that city down, and the federal government is not coming to help you. They're not going to bail you out. So,
I agree.
And I don't want them to. And it's almost like I want him to win so they can. So I can say I told you so, but I also don't want that city. So I used to love going to New York. Loved it. It's the greatest city in the world. And I just won't go back until they get their heads out of their asses. Same with California. Like I will never go back to California until it does a complete flip flop. So I'll never go to Oregon, Washington. Like they are so upside down that it's unbelievable. So anyway,
Did you you did not watch Trump in Japan, right?
I watched part of it, but
Okay. Share my screen right quick. This was him entering. Okay, this is down below the ship's deck where they keep the airplanes and stuff. So the airplanes would trolley over to this lowering pad and then be pulled into. This is basically the garage that he did the speech in. Now, did you see him enter?
no. Do you have volume on it?
No, I don't know why, but doesn't really need
Ladies
it.
and gentlemen,
Here
the
it is.
President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Okay, did you see that lift come down?
And they can't take that away.
Come on, zoom in.
And I'm proud to be an American.
You see this airplane over here?
Yeah.
I'm free.
Is that the stealth?
I won't forget.
That's one of the new ones, yes. Okay, they've already got him coming off of it. Let me see if I can fast forward here to the. Does it show him leaving? And then, man. Okay, that wasn't that didn't show it quite as well as I wanted to. He was standing on that as it lowered with his hand on a missile by that stealth bomber. It was absolutely classic. It was unbelievable.
Yep. He's unbelievable. He is unbelievable. And then he signs a deal with China where they're immediately going to buy like 12 million pounds of soybeans, which our soybean farmers are struggling right now because of China's reluctance to buy from us because of the tariffs and that kind of stuff. But that's ending. Like those purchases are happening immediately. Like he's winning.
I think it's 25 million cubic tons every year.
Yeah. And he's winning. Like they can't stand it. They cannot stand it. So he's just going out. He's kicking ass.
He absolutely is.
So did you find it?
I don't think so. I'm trying real hard.
President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Because when I saw it, the camera zoomed in on it, and it was absolutely freaking awesome. And the troops, when you watch that, the troops absolutely love him, and I can totally relate to that. I served under Bush, the first Bush, and I was a Democrat, but that was my president. Yeah, it doesn't. I can't find a video that zooms in on it like it should, which is a real shame because it was extremely impressive.
Well, he's impressive, and I'm not a military vet. I didn't serve, but I can imagine having somebody that completely supports you and is there for you versus somebody that's just throwing you into the fire and then not really doing anything else for you, you know? So
Yeah.
I can only imagine the difference. And it's like they're breaking recruiting records right now for our military. So I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that part is extremely impressive. He's selling it, and you can join now for 4 years and know that even if Trump loses and becomes a Democrat, you're on the end of you can leave.
Yeah.
So now would be a pretty good time to join. I wish I could go back.
I would do it now.
Yep.
When I talked about it in high school, my father, who was injured in World War II, was very much against it. But he also watched as one of my mother's brothers was killed in Vietnam, and another brother was injured. So he did not want me going in, and he soundly discouraged me from it, which he's been a father, but I wish I'd have done it just for my experiences and to be able to know that I was part of protecting this country. That would have been, I'm proud of you for that. And I respect that. And all my siblings that were in the military, it's like, that's a big deal. So that's pretty awesome. So
look, share this one. Is that shareable?
I don't see it.
Okay.
Away.
See that?
Yeah.
That was the big elevator that dropped down into that loading bay. You see him over there, hand over there on the missile? There are a few way in the back Secret Service people that were covering him, but he lowered down on that thing and walked off and walked into that freaking hangar bay. It was beautiful, man.
That's a picture for the wall. That is awesome. He's awesome. He's a badass.
He is a badass.
We're lucky. We're so lucky. All right.
He makes it interesting. It was so boring with Biden as president. They're talking about Biden spoke to the press. Everybody knows Biden knew who to call on, and they knew what questions were going to be asked, so they knew what answer to give him, and then he was done. Do I have any more here? No, that's it. Okay. And stumbled off. Like, how do you defend that?
How can suck sauce?
Yeah.
Like, come on. And now you got what's her name? Jean-Pierre, whatever her name is, the former president, writing her book saying how he was sound to mind. And then his doctor came out and they were grilling him, and he was like, when I dealt with him, he was in great shape, a sharp mind, sharp-witted. He was strong. He was in charge. And they're like, well, how many times did you meet with him? 2.
Yep.
In 4 years.
Yep.
His 2 times. And you're trying to give us credible information about the shape he was in. Like, it's just lies, cover-ups, facades. It's just like, it's fake.
I'll tell you, the Karine Jean-Pierre thing, she goes from one side to the other. She left the Democrat Party. She's now registered independent. So clearly she had a problem with the Democrat Party. She tries to defend him and then doesn't. And Kamala Harris doing the same thing. Kamala did a show yesterday, an interview yesterday. She kind of trashed Biden pretty hard. And I'm like, you were just defending him 2 days ago.
And then she say, well, I thought he was up for being the president again, but I just didn't think he was up for the campaign.
Yeah. What is that?
Like, what does that mean?
It's tougher to campaign than to actually be president.
Well, they said he was only available from 10 to 4 every day.
Yep. Yep.
10 to 4. Supposedly the most powerful man in the world, running the most powerful country in the world, and he's available for 6 hours a day, but only if we know exactly what's going to happen, what's being said, what questions are being asked. Like Trump,
I was getting ready to go to bed at 2:00 in the morning the other night, and I flipped on my news channel before going to bed, and it was like, in 20 minutes, Trump speaks to the troops. Like it's freaking 2:30 in the morning. So I ended up staying up till 4 because I watched that entire Japan rally, and he had the Japanese president join him.
He doesn't care. He works nonstop.
Yeah.
That's truly what's happening. Not, oh, he's controlling the room. He's the as what Joe Scarborough said, the best Biden ever. If you don't F off. You know, now he's coming out saying, oh, we've been misled. You were the misleader, bro. You did that. So there's a bunch of crap.
He was there with the Japanese prime minister. She's a conservative. She's the first woman ever to be elected prime minister of Japan. Kudos, good stuff. And she accolades to Trump and the United States. And he was very clear. And I think he was speaking to China in speaking to her. If you need, and he told her right there in front of all the troops, you need anything, you have any problems, anything comes up, you let us know. We're your ally. We're your best friend. Yep. We'll take care of you. You take care of us. This is a joint venture. We've got this going. He never mentioned the word China, but then
he mentioned it.
2 days later, he was sitting at a table. This was yesterday, across from the Chinese leader.
Yep.
And if you saw that, the Chinese leader was reading this thing, and Trump was like this.
Yep.
Staring him the whole time. And then leaving there, and he's dropping the tariffs. Yeah, exactly.
You know, because he's like,
they made that deal on soybeans and other things, and he said, because of this, we're going to lower the tariffs down to 50%. That's still a pretty good tariff.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
He's controlling the arena. He's utilizing the power of this country for the country.
A year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever they were running and doing their campaigning and running for president or whatever,
and going through court.
Yeah. And DeSantis was in the mix. It scared me a little bit because I don't know what's coming next. You know what I mean? Like, and you're like, I don't want him to win because if he does, who's going to take his spot? What are they going to do here? Now it's like Trump has 3 years left. Thank God he has 3 years left. Because and it scares me even because he's not going to be the president anymore. And that's a little scary just because, like, even if I do believe it'll be a Republican. Yeah. But there's never going to be anything else like him ever.
No. There was a hint of this with Reagan and tear down this wall, and Reagan got shot, and Reagan was pretty iconic.
He was, but he was not, I guess, as entertaining.
No. You know well, he was kind of funny.
He was, but not like this. And you know what I just heard the other day, and it blew my mind. This is so random. In 1958, they were doing Disneyland, California. And they worked tirelessly to get it open. And they decided they're going to do a live broadcast. And the most cameras that had ever been used at one time, like in a one location like that, was like 7. So it was like super advanced. They had like 60 or 80 cameras operating, doing like all tied in together. And it was like a big deal. And they hired some known personalities to do the broadcast. And of the day of the opening of Disneyland, Ronald Reagan did that.
That was before president. Was he
Yeah.
governor?
You know, this was in the 50s.
So this was when he was a movie star.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I heard that, I'm like, Ronald Reagan. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, because I don't know, we don't know how big of a deal he was because we weren't alive then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just like Roy Clark, my dad and your mom and Maul and stuff, like, oh, Roy Clark was huge. Is that his name, Roy Clark? Roy Rogers.
Yeah. Oh, I was Roy Clark was the hee-haw guy.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Roy Rogers.
Okay.
So how big he was, a singing cowboy or whatever. But it's like,
And Greta Garbo and yeah.
But when you said Ronald Reagan, I remember there's a show on late night radio called American Stories, and they were talking about Disney World or Disneyland. So,
All right, I brought this up. Bring this up. Tell me when it's up. You know what this is?
Go ahead.
You know, he no sound, huh? Okay, there we go. Remember this was after he was shot, a speech he was given.
By its very existence and character, Berlin remains the most compelling argument for an open world. We're reminded of the many traditions of openness and democracy that have marked the history of this city. America missed me.
You with that?
By its very city, America missed me.
All right, we're gonna have to get this thing. We're gonna have to end this thing. We're running over again.
Oh my gosh. Miss me.
So I think going forward, we should just plan an hour instead of 30 minutes because we've gone over the last 3 times.
I'm good with that.
So well, I'm gonna finish this up. Is it's Halloween, so happy Halloween, and everybody's out there. And time change.
Oh, it's tonight, tomorrow night, or Sunday night? Sunday night.
Sunday night, Sunday morning, 2 a.m. So I guess tomorrow night after midnight, but
oh, okay. Saturday night, Sunday morning. Okay.
yeah, so don't forget that 2 a.m. it'll change, goes back an hour, which sucks because it's gonna get dark earlier. But and I hate that time of the year. It makes me so like I like the sunshine. So anyway, good talks, good laughs. And next episode I'll tell a story. And
So who wins tonight in the World Series? Does Toronto end up winning and taking it?
no, Dodgers win tonight. Dodgers
And then
probably win it all, I think.
They got to win the next 2, 6 and 7.
I know. And I'm only rooting for the Dodgers because they're in America.
Agreed.
But I do like Vlad Jr. And
Yeah, I do too.
The team is good. So
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Dodgers only because I'm rooting for an American team. So anyway, it was good talks. I had a great time. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon.
Heard.
We appreciate everybody. Please like, share, subscribe. And God bless America. God bless our president. May you be blessed beyond measure. And we will see you very soon and very often. And happy Halloween. Peace out.